Okay, in this video I want to go over the various types of employment tests that you may run into during the job hunt or the job search process, the job application process. So to start with, what are they? Well, generally the tests are made to identify good candidates for employment or to exclude those who might have some characteristic that's not favorable. Okay, so to start with, let's go over, or what we're going to do is go over the different types of tests that you might run into. So the first one is cognitive, right? You don't find this very often. This is for specific fields that require a high level of acuity, that type of thing. So it'll be tests related to like the intelligence quotient or IQ test type thing, testing your cognitive ability or how fast you react or your ability to associate things like that, right? So it's either a developed, but subconscious or innate ability type thing that they're searching for in that situation, and that might only be necessary in high stakes type scenarios where they believe that that's going to provide some level of necessary ability in order to learn how to do the job. Okay, it's not related to your current knowledge or ability to do the job, but that they think you'll be better at it because of this superior cognitive function, right? Skill-based, that's what can you do, right? Type skills, very common in technical fields like computer programming and things like that, but they just have to verify what your ability is. You know, you claim you can program in this C++, well, you got to show it, right? That type of thing. Personality test. This is really common when you're going to be dealing with people in a specific type of scenario, particularly like sales, right? Are you the personality type that's going to be, one, motivated by what you're doing in the scenario, but two, how are you going to, how will you likely react to people who have a certain orientation, attitude, that type of thing in situations. So trying to identify, people, or they believe that a certain personality type would fit better in a position. So that's what they're trying to identify. Are you that personality type? Okay. Related to that is emotional intelligence. Again, your ability to recognize your own emotions and recognize the emotions of others, right? So you can coordinate your conduct, attitude, responses to them accordingly because you understand what you're seeing there. And that's very common in therapy type roles or social worker type roles where you have to deal with people who where emotions may be controlling the situation. Another one is physical ability tests, right? Things that require excessive physical ability. Everything from professional sports to police, fire, things like that are going to require a lot of ability, right? Physical ability to meet the requirements of the job. All right. English proficiency test, when there's a requirement for a certain level of communication, such as maritime air travel, things like that. If you can't communicate at a certain level, then it could be a danger, or that type of thing. You wouldn't be proficient in the job without it. Okay. Drug test, that's seeking to exclude individuals who are using a controlled substance when they're not supposed to, that type of thing, because they believe it will ultimately hurt your ability to perform the job in a certain way. And oftentimes employers define what qualifies to them as disqualifying, what types of drugs or what level of use, that type of thing, to the extent a test can detect that. Okay, background checks, that's extremely common, right? You generally need to give permission for that because background check will be very thorough. It'll include a credit check oftentimes, and for that, under law, you have to give permission if somebody's going to run a credit check on you, type thing. But once again, the background check is just trying to see that you don't have any negative marks in your past that could make you appear not to be a good candidate for the position, might cause you to be viewed in a certain way by customers, other employees, that type of thing that would make you not a good fit for the position. Okay, and credit check, that's generally only relevant when you're going to be handling monies of some sort, or you're going to be making payments or something like that on behalf of the company. Then lastly, a polygraph or lie detector test. These are very rare. Federal law protects you against having to take these unless employers can show a bona fide need to do so. And things like positions that require a security clearance, like being a contractor for the military, where a certain level of security clearance is required, that type of thing. Working for the government itself, like as a Department of Justice employee, FBI, CIA, something like that, then a lie detector test is going to be authorized and okay, and you might expect that. But for most positions, that's not something you'll run into. Now, taking these all together, any of these can be present within any position you're applying for, but just knowing ahead of time, there are ways that you can prepare for some of these to perform better, such as the cognitive ability, skills-based test, personality test. You can actually game it if you know what's going on. I'm not recommending that you do that, but lots of employees can. But oftentimes employers are not correct in assessing that a certain type of personality will do better than others. So that being said, it's kind of an equal playing field there. So as long as you know what the types of tests are and what to expect from the employer, you'll be well versed in this regard.